Could I now request editor of the New Indian Express, Bhuvaneshwar Shri Siba Mahanti, to traditionally welcome our Honorable Chief Minister with a bouquet. Could I request Shri Chawla to also present an uttariya to him? Well, ladies and gentlemen, a session with the Honorable Chief Minister has always been one of the highlights of Odisha Literary Festival, something that the patrons of this festival have always looked forward to year after year. On that note, could I now request the editorial director of the New Indian Express, Shri Prabhu Chawla, to present the welcome address.
Good evening, everybody. I welcome the Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Mr. Naveen Patnaik, for the 8th time to this festival. He has been a source of permanent strength for us. It is because of his support that we are confident of organizing this festival year after year and much more successful. He has never said no, except once, last time when he was not well, because he was prepared to come, but the last time he was not well, he couldn't come. Thank you, Mr. Patnaik, for accepting our invitation. And since we are hosting this function, first time public function here, after his massive victory, let us applaud him once again for his massive victory which he has got in the election. Winning assembly election for the 5th consecutive time, from 2000 onwards, he has broken all records now in the past. So he is the longest surviving chief minister currently in the country, for the other two chief ministers. Other two chief ministers were a little ahead of him, was Pawan Chamling, who was defeated last time, and the other was Mr. Dr. Raman Singh, who would have given it some kind of a competition to him. He also lost the election. So here is Mr. Patnaik. As I've been saying earlier also, there are leaders who speak and speak and speak and win elections. And Mr. Patnaik is the one. If one politician speaks in one day, the number of words and number of hours, Mr. Patnaik speaks entire 5 years that much. Even that much he doesn't speak. So he speaks only for 5 minutes in 5 years, but he wins millions of hearts by those 5 words, everyone. His work speaks. His words remain within himself. That is the beauty of Mr. Naveen Patnaik. I think that's what he wins the election. Mr. Patnaik, just to brief you what we have done, this is the 8th Odisha Literary Festival which we have been organizing now, and it's perhaps the longest in terms of presence, in terms of speakers, in terms of sessions. And we have covered everything because we find Odisha is a state, Bhubaneswar is a city which is willing to listen to others, unlike many other states where we go to, people start shouting. Here is the Odisha people who want to learn, listen, dialogue. And I'm making this because I heard this morning about Odia people speaking about it. My humble request to Chief Minister would be that Odisha's story of literature, heritage has not been told to the rest of the world. It needs to be told. You have done so much for cultural revival, agriculture. I would request you to pay a little more attention to convert Odisha literature into many more languages so that the English-speaking people, those who don't read the regional languages, don't read the literature, don't read the local culture, they must know how rich is Odisha in terms of culture and literature. You must get it translated in many more languages so that people of other languages also become literate, more literate than they are. We have discussed 18 sessions have been held. In 18 sessions, almost 36 speakers have spoken. We have discussed many things. We have spoken about crime, we have spoken about Kashmir, we have spoken about dialogue, we have spoken literary, everything we have spoken on it. And there is almost a consensus here that India needs to engage in discussion, dialogue, not confrontation. It is a country of consensus, not confrontation. That is what the literature should do. That has been our objective as well here. So we have succeeded in that. I thank all my speakers who have come here. I also thank my team led by Kauri Bamdai, Siva Manti, who's editor here, Mr. Panda, and the entire team, who have been able to put together such a beautiful sessions here that people of Odisha will miss it if we don't organize it. We are encouraged by it. I don't want to stand between you and Mr. Patnaik, because you would like to listen to him. After that, we have some question and answer with him as well. I request Mr. Patnaik to speak about the vision, what he thinks we should be doing. Thank you, Mr. Patnaik.
Shri Prabhu Chawla, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be here this evening with all of you. My congratulations to the New Indian Express Group and especially to Shri Prabhu Chawla for the successful organization of the 8th edition of the Odisha Literary Festival. Literature has always been a potent weapon for social change and has long since been guiding our society. All along, literature has been the essence of social transformation and happiness. The spark for major social changes across the globe have been ignited by revolutionary thinkers and writers. We all know how Voltaire and Rousseau had influenced the French Revolution. The Odia Mahabharata of Sarla Das was a transformative factor in the literary landscape of Odisha. Sarla Das simply adopted the language of the masses and made it mainstream literature. It connected people to literature and the great social traditions of that era. Similarly, Bhima Bhoi's attempt at fighting outclass barriers, Fakir Mohan's role in awakening the society for girls' child education, and Pratibha Rai's celebration of women power are a few of the innumerable instances as to how literature can bring in behavior and social transformation. We celebrate our great literature and tradition with numerous eminent writers contributing brilliantly to its positive growth. Today, we are in the age of knowledge and empowerment. Literature is more important than ever today. Literature makes us question things. Literature makes us dream to transform. Without literature, there would be no imagination or heart to do what we do in our daily lives, nor a quest to improve our future. I believe this festival plays an important role in more ways than one. I hope the deliberations here will encourage our writers of today and in times to come, will enrich our great tradition and empower people with knowledge and creativity. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our Honorable Chief Minister. Not just a politician of unflinching integrity, he's definitely a man of letters and culture. I would now request Mr. Chawla to take over for the question and answer session.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Minister. As usual, you are a man of few words, but you have said so many things about literature. We have formally congratulated you already. When you took over, everybody thought Odisha was a poor state, underdeveloped state. During the past 20 years, you have converted into a developing state. In the next fifth term, which you are doing, what is your vision for the fifth year? From poor to developing then?
In the past few terms, We've achieved certain standards for our people. Now, we intend to even achieve more in this next 5 years. We have started a program of 5 T's for transformation and also Mo Sarkar program.
Good, that's vision very clear. I think, what is the magic behind your success story? Is it Naveen magic, or you got some invisible team which is working under your directions?
We have an excellent team of officers and other people, MLAs, politicians, all of whom have always worked hard for this transformation.
You have got a team which is invisible, in fact. There's nobody, because you are also, you don't speak much and your officers are not visible. So you believe in people who are invisible but deliver.
Yes, indeed.
But one thing is very thing, that people see only Virat Kohli in this state. There is only one Virat Kohli, who is Mr. Naveen Patnaik. And he's hitting sixes after sixes. So you are the Virat Kohli of Odisha. That is what people feel like. Nobody else is visible. Everybody else seems to be working on their own way.
Well, as I said, they're not working in their own way. This team works on certain ideals for our progress.
Mr. Patnaik, other thing is that there was a bitter election at that time happened. And after the bitter election, now I find that both you, as a development man, people call you in the city, and Modi, you have better chemistry between both of you, Mr. Prime Minister Modi, and you have a better chemistry in terms of issues.
It was not a bitter election, really, and we have always believed in constructive cooperation with the central government, and therefore, we expect their help in the state, and we support whatever is constructive and creative.
What people are now discussing about many things that you are doing, like you had made Odisha as the sports capital of the world, because you were the first state where you had a world hockey competition. You are organizing so many other things also. Why emphasis on sports?
We had decided to give great emphasis and expenditure on sports because sports is investment in youth, and youth is investment in the future. And we certainly hope that Odisha in the future will produce sports persons of Olympic standards.
I think you are the one chief minister who has done many things out of the boxes. For example, you abolished Guard of Honor. You were the first chief minister to abolish the Guard of Honor. And you also renamed your Sachivalaya as the Lok Sevak Bhavan. What is the philosophy behind these two things?
Things like the Guards of Honor, etc., were the legacy of the colonial Raj. And to rename the Secretariat as Lok Seva Bhavan is to show that we're a people-centric government.
It's a good thing, because earlier, like in Delhi also, it was known as 7 Race Course Road. Modi also said it Lok Seva Road, that is changed it to it. Other thing which I think when you said you have a better understanding now, there is one controversial issue which will happen now. There's a political division happening in this country on the abolition of 370 and 35A. I know you have a past connection with Kashmir, it seems. Your mother came from Kashmir, it seems. What do you think Modi Sahab has done a right thing, because you're not spoken on the subject? 370 and 35A should have been abolished long ago, or it is right direction?
There's been discussion on those acts for a long time. My belief is that along the Pakistan border, we should see great development, particularly for Jammu and Kashmir. And we seem to be on that path.
Does it mean that 370 is in that path, development, abolition of 370 is meant more development for Jammu and Kashmir?
I certainly hope that it will mean more development work in those areas.
So in a way, should I take that you're supporting the abolition of 370 and 35A?
In a way, yes.
You're not saying no, that's all. It's a guess. Obviously, we can guess he's supporting it. That's what I'm saying it. You have changed many things, but I'm coming back to the personal things because you are the person who much is not known about him. A lot of things are happening, modernization and whatnot. I saw you just coming in a car, Maruti model, which Maruti itself had stopped producing. Do you want to upgrade yourself or not, or rebuild in that same car?
I'm very comfortable in that car and I'll use it as long as it's usable.
A tall man sitting in a small car, that is what is happening. You've written 2 books in the past as well. You are a good writer. You have a thinking capacity which we can read after that. One was the book on herbal plants and whatnot, other was your poetry. If you were given an option earlier, because of your writing flair, would have anywhere occurred in your mind that you should become a journalist as well?
I did write 3 books in the past. That was before I entered politics. And let's see in the future, after my retirement, I'll certainly think about it.
No, the question is, now you say after you retire, you think about it. That is a question different later. But are you thinking of writing your autobiography after so much experience?
I haven't thought about that, no.
You haven't thought yet?
No.
You're not saying no either?
No.
I will have a copyright on writing your autobiography on that. Other question which is coming to my mind, that you said you got invisible team. Every leader always believes in creating teams after team. Have you ever thought of creating some kind of a team which ultimately becomes your successful successor?
I believe that the people of our state will choose the successor at the right time.
You are against the culture of choosing the successor. You are against the culture of choosing your own successor.
No, I don't believe in that.
All other personal questions arise there, that you must be watching films, Hollywood or Bollywood. Do you have any favorite actor or actresses which you admire?
I truly don't have much time to watch films or television.
You stop watching films, but still in the past memory, can you admire in the past actors or actors, anybody who's a favorite?
Many of them in the past, I can't remember at the moment.
Do you remember any good author? You are a good reader, I know, you read books. Any good author, if you can name, which you admire as the author, that is a book which young people sitting here should read about that.
Well, I think amongst Odia authors, Fakir Mohan Senapati is very fine. And there are numerous English authors which will take too long to name.
Other thing, since you don't want to name any successor, what I can ask you, can you tell us about something? Who is your favorite sports person? Which is a non-political question.
I think the captain of our cricket team.
Do you have any favorite political leader? Other than your father, of course.
I can't think of one for the present, no.
Somebody asked a question, we asked people to give us a question. We got 107 questions. I can't ask all of them. One person asked me, young person, he says, we have been looking at Mr. Patnaik for the past few years, 7 years. Ask him one question about secret of his fitness. He looks the same 7 years ago, even now. What is the success of your fitness? Do you look the same?
I exercise twice a day, and I keep an eye on my diet.
So your fitness what? You eat less, you speak less, I know, but eating less.
I eat less, and as I said, I also do exercises in the morning and in the evening.
You do some exercises? You do some exercise. Other thing which I've been watching for the last 35 years now, I want to ask you, sometime as an individual you have been loner at the moment, and as a human being, what makes you laugh and smile?
I suppose like anyone else, when a good joke is cracked or something of sense of humor is said.
Last question I'll ask you, and one question I think, what is the message you would like to give to the young students and elderly people sitting here? Any message you would like to give them?
I think for the young students, it should be that besides working for their self, they should also try and work for the deprived people in society.
And what is the challenge you are likely to face now in terms of Chief Minister, not political challenge. I'm talking about any challenge you see where you expect the people to cooperate with you. The challenge Mr. Naveen Patnaik.
I hope that people will cooperate with us for the development and progress of the state and also for our fight against poverty.
Thank you very much. Mr. Patnaik, give a big applause to him. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, we can really say that we had saved the best for the last. So a big round of applause for our Honorable Chief Minister. We'll request Mr. Chawla to present a memento to him as a token of appreciation. We would once again like to thank the Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Naveen Patnaik, for gracing this valedictory ceremony.